Alright, hello there. I guess, how do you pronounce your username? Finamivalis? Yeah, Finamivalis, something like that. Well, anyway, this is going to be let's discuss Final Fantasy again. This time we're going to discuss some of the more positive points instead of a response to Wolfoss's rant about why some of, the evolution in it is sort of driving him, why he doesn't like the evolution in it. Stuff like that. Anyway, I did say that I didn't like Final Fantasy X. It's not one of my favorites, but I didn't say that I just don't like it, in general. I don't like it as much as the others. You had that part right. Also, Final Fantasy VI is the one that got me started off on the whole Final Fantasy series and the franchise like that. It doesn't have a lot of character development, but if you look at it as a whole, it's got 14 characters. That's 12 main characters and 2 hidden characters. Each one with enough story development to let you know who they are and what they're about in them following their story. Unlike Vaughn from Final Fantasy XII, which really did just follow along on a set path. There really was no who is Vaughn Ratsbane or something. It's just like, it never really tells you who he is, what he comes from, what is his motivation. You just don't feel any of that. Oh wow, the Empire kills his brother Rex, and that's it. That's his motivation, the entire thing. I guess, but come on. Square Enix, you could have done better than that. The combat system, I will admit, for a console RPG, it's a bit clunky. But it works for an MMO. But then again, they really couldn't have done it any other way. So you'll encounter the same battle system in 12 that you'll encounter the same one in 11 as you encounter in 12. However, Final Fantasy 11 is a bit more well-tuned in that regard. Then again, it's an MMO. So you have more freedom there. Instead of trying to control 3 people, you're only controlling 1. Yeah. Anyway, it's cool that you're actually going to try to get into 11. That would be nice. I warn you, though, it's a bit of a time sink, and you will run into the occasional jerk or asshole. So that's just fair warning there. Well, anyway, what I was wanting to say is, I've never actually gotten, to play Final Fantasy 1 or 2 in its original format, but I did get to play the watered-down version of 1 and 2 in the Dawn of Souls version. I actually have Final Fantasy Origins on my computer. A friend of mine let me rip the data from their game discs. I've just never been bothered to play through them. I've been planning on it soon. I just haven't gotten around to it. I have not played the original Final Fantasy III, but like you, I did watch H.C. Bailey's Let's Play, and that pretty much got my fill on that one. The main reason Final Fantasy VI is my personal favorite Final Fantasy is, well, like you said, it's absolutely perfect in almost every way. The characters are plentiful. There's so many character choices you can pick. So many different character combos. And the best part is, each character is unique, even though they can learn every spell in the game. Some characters have some really useful abilities, such as Sabin in his Bum Rush and Airblade and Mantra. I don't care what people say, Mantra is useful. It's Spiraler that is downright useless. Go-Go is just all around useful if you know how to use him and understand how he works. Cyan's probably the strongest character in the game in terms of how much damage he can pump out with his sword tech abilities. However, Locke's probably the most competent melee fighter with the weapons he can use in the different relic combos. There's about 1 million different ways you can play Final Fantasy VI. It's got just enough challenge to keep you enthralled, and it's just easy enough to keep you from getting frustrated. So, there. And then you have Kefka, everyone's favorite villain. Who can rival a freaking madman jester? I mean, really. He's like the ultimate, villain or something. He basically destroyed the world. What villain can do that, But Sephiroth ain't bad from 7. He's just a little overhyped now that I look back on it. Speaking of Final Fantasy VII, you actually brought up some points that I had completely slipped my mind. The materia system is what really drives Final Fantasy VII home. Its story is good, very good. It's got some very memorable places, like you were saying. The music in 7 is divine. That's all I can say. One Winged Angel is just epic. I love that. However, I have been thinking about something kind of silly recently. If you notice, does not Kefka's first form, the thing with the two hands and the head, does that not resemble Bizarro Sephiroth? And then if you look about it, Sephiroth turns into an angel as well. Also, Sephiroth uses Fallen 1, same as Kefka. It's almost like Sephiroth was just one big rip-off or rehash of Kefka. Like they were trying to recapture what Kefka was, which is very, very hard to do. And then there's even a reference to Kefka in Final Fantasy VII, in that when Tifa's freaking out on the live stream trying to save Cloud, or when was that scene? Yeah, when she first slips into the live stream, I want to think, to try to save Cloud, you hear Kefka's laugh in the background, which is pretty sweet, It's just Final Fantasy VI. I can't help it. It's my very favorite Final Fantasy. It was the first one I ever played. The music in it's great. The story's great. Basically, you can see just how much I like it when I did my Let's Play through there. I know that game pretty much like the back of my hand, man. Well, I didn't know the bugs, but thanks to H.C. Bailey and some of the other YouTubers like that, I was able to get knowledge on those. But in terms of actual gameplay and story, I know everywhere to go where basically everything is. So